Hello there. My name is Silas. And him a wombat who lives near the Sea of Galilee. Most days, I like to sit on a rocky hill and watch the boats come and go. The water sparkles and the breeze is gentle usually. But one day, the calm disappeared. And something unforgettable happened. A storm came out of nowhere. And only one voice could stop it. That day, I saw Jesus and his disciples getting into a boat. They looked tired but happy. Jesus had been teaching all day. Crowds of people had gathered to hear him. He told stories about faith, kindness, and God's kingdom. As the sun dipped low, he said, "Let's go to the other side." I watched the boat push off from shore. The water was smooth, and the sky was turning orange. Birds chirped goodnight, and I stretched out on a warm rock to watch them drift across the lake. It felt peaceful, like the world was singing a lullaby. But then boom! A loud crack of thunder rolled over the hills. The wind howled like a wild animal. The waves rose higher and higher, crashing into the boat. I jumped to my feet. This was no ordinary storm. It was fierce, fast, and frightening. The disciples scrambled to keep the boat steady. Buckets flew, sails snapped, and water poured in. I could hear their shouts even from the hillside. They were afraid, terrified. Actually, and I didn't blame them. The sea had turned into a swirling, roaring monster. And where was Jesus? Asleep. Can you believe that? Right there on a cushion in the back of the boat. Calm as could be. The disciples rushed to him and cried, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus stood up slowly. The wind tugged at his robe and the waves slapped the boat's sides. But his face wasn't afraid. It was steady, peaceful. He raised his hand and said, "Quiet. Be still." And just like that, the wind stopped. The waves melted into ripples. The sky cleared. The boat stopped rocking. I blinked in disbelief. One moment, chaos. The next, silence. The storm listened to Jesus. The disciples stared at him. "Who is this?" they asked. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." I sat stunned on my rock. What kind of man talks to storms and they obey? That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought about how scared the disciples were, and how safe they became just because Jesus was with them. He didn't leave them. He didn't yell at them. He just brought peace. Sometimes, I feel storms too, not in the sky, but in my heart. Times when I worry, or feel alone, or don't know what to do. But now I know who to call out to: Jesus, the one who calms storms with a word. I learned something important that day. Jesus doesn't always stop storms before they start, but he always shows up in the middle of them. And when he does, everything changes. Now when the wind howls or thunder rumbles, I don't run for cover right away. I pause, I remember, I whisper, "Be still," and trust that Jesus hears me, just like he heard his friends. The Sea of Galilee sparkles again, like it always does after rain. But it feels different now, like it remembers his voice too. That strong, gentle voice that brings peace to wild places. I still sit on my rock most evenings. I still watch boats come and go. But now, I do it with more peace in my heart. Because I know storms come and go, but Jesus stays. Do you ever feel like you're in a storm? Maybe not with waves and wind, but with fears or troubles. It's okay. Everyone feels that way sometimes, even Jesus' closest friends. The good news is, we're not alone. Jesus is with us in the boat. And no storm is stronger than his peace. Not even the biggest, loudest, scariest ones. You don't need a giant voice to call on him. Just a whisper, just a prayer, just a heart that trusts. And he will hear you. Every single time. That's what makes Jesus so special. He's not far away, he's right here. With you, with me, with all of us. Even when the skies turn dark. Next time you feel scared, try this. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and say, Jesus, help me. It doesn't have to be fancy. He understands. I may be a little wombat with short legs and a big belly, but I've learned a big truth: when you trust Jesus, peace always finds you, even in a storm. So don't be afraid. Whatever your storm looks like, remember who's in your boat. The same one who calmed the sea with a word is still speaking today. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you feel brave, calm, and full of hope, because no matter how loud the storm, Jesus is louder. Key takeaway: Jesus brings peace. Even in the middle of life's storms, we can trust him to calm our fears. Bible verse: He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. A Mark 439 NIV.